Hello all, so in this video I have created an AutoTour that automatically changes between pans and it kind of loops all the way back to the beginning. So basically it looks something like this. So we have our first panorama, loads, move 1, move 2, move 3, and at the end of 3 it loads the second panorama. There's only 3 panoramas, as you can see up here. So move 1, second panorama, move 2, move 3. I've got the fan on, so you probably hear it blowing into the microphone. Third panorama, move 1, move 2, and move 3, and then back to the original panorama to do it all over again. Back to panorama 1, move 1, 2, and 3. So, basically I'm going to give you the quick and dirty on how to do this. It's really quite simple, but there's a lot of steps and it can get very confusing, especially if you're watching a video that doesn't have any audio and nobody's explaining what you're seeing. So what I'll try and do is I'll try and explain what's going on, what I'm clicking on, and why, so that you have a better understanding of what's going on and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and close this project out, and we're going to start a new project. Call this test 24. I've actually recorded this video probably about 24 times and had to keep starting over. Okay, so we're going to use the same pans as before, so we just kind of keep in style with what you saw earlier. So we'll start with this one, and I'll open this up so you can better see what's going on. I actually like this down a little bit further. Gives me some better space to work with. Okay, now let's go ahead and add the other panoramas. So we're going to add 3 just as in before, and I'll put them in the same order. So here we are. We've got our 3 panoramas. And the first thing we're going to do with these is, this is the initial pan, but if we reload, it's just regular. We want to actually have a pre-pano. So what I'm going to do is go to plugins, pre-pano. This is the size of the cube, 256 pixels by 256 pixels squared. If you put it above this, you can probably get away with about 700 before it starts becoming comparably sized to the actual panorama. And what I like to do is I put the blur at 4. My customers like it to be in color, so I don't put it to 0, which is the grayscale. I set this to 100 and pre-pano, so we click on this, go to plugins, pick menu, enable it. That'll go ahead and create the load functions. And this doesn't load right away sometimes, so what you have to do is come over to Tourificator, click off of the initial pan, set as initial the second one, go back to the first one, view it, and then set it, and reload. Why it works like that, I have no idea. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do is set all of the initial states for each of the panoramas. So I'm going to do it pretty much the exact same as I did it before. So the way I do it is I set the panorama to where I want it to go, double click on the pre-pano, load pano, set position, finish. Do the same for the second one of the same panorama. So this is the completed panorama. Set pano position, finish. We're going to go to the second pan and do the exact same thing. Third pan, do the exact same thing. So we set the position we want it to start in, and click on the pre-pano, load, set, finish, or completed, set, finish, third pano. I don't remember where I had this at. I think probably on a cushion or something. Okay, same thing. Load, set, finish, completed, load, set, finish. And as we can see, we've got the TV screen, the island, and the pillow. And voila. Okay. So now that we've got those set, what we're going to do is we're going to add 3 hotspots, 1 hotspot to correspond with each scene. So I've already got those created. I've got 1, 2, and 3. 1 for the first scene, 2 for the second, 3 for the third. So we drop those on there. Get rid of this. Go to Tourificator. We want number 1 to show only in the first panorama. So we click on the number 1. You can actually just do that down here as well. So there's the first panorama, stick it in there. Second panorama, stick it in there. Third hotspot, third panorama, stick it in there. So now each spot corresponds to its own panorama. So let's go to the first. And we actually don't need to see these hotspots, and you most likely won't want to see them. So what you do is just start with whichever one, doesn't matter. Go to hotspots 2, set the opacity to 0, hotspot 3 opacity to 0, hotspot 4 opacity to 0. And you also will most likely want to get rid of the hand cursor. Wherever it's at, little hand cursor will pop up. There it is. So right there. So we get rid of the hand cursor, oops, and get rid of the button mode. Do the same for the others. Okay, so that's done. So let's go ahead and load our first panorama again so we can find our starting position, which we don't need to do, but for simplicity, let's just keep it simple. Okay, so this is where it starts. Let's go ahead and make our first move. I'm going to have them all go in a complete circle. Now you can't go like this while it's recording and stop it here and think that it's going to go all the way around, because it's not going to. Flashificator goes the shortest distance from A to B, which would just be right here. So it would just make a little tiny move. So what we have to do is split the 360 degrees into 3 moves. So approximately 120 degrees per move. So let's go ahead. We'll set this over here. I'm going to kind of breeze through this because this is what takes the longest. So functions, make another function, record, visuals, save position, function, stop record, name the first move. This is pan 1, move 1. Don't generate the reverse. Set the time on it. I'm setting it for 3 seconds, so 3000 finish. I'm going to move to the second move. Make another panorama, record, visuals, save position, functions, stop recording, name it. So this is pan 1, move 2. Set the time, 3 seconds. Now I want it to go back to the exact same position. In order to do that, I have to know exactly what the position is, so I click off the panorama to a different panorama, and then I click back on the panorama. Now we're in the exact same starting position that we want the ending position to be. So we make another function, record, visuals,